Thursday night is here, and so is the AFL Today Show for the Thursday night team show for round 7. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy. Got a bit of an upgrade to the set. The boys are in the new studio. We'll start off with Leo Mullaly in the corner. I don't know which team he's going for tonight, but he is sort of a Hawks man. How you going, Leo?
Hello, wonderful people. I'm feeling good, and I hope everyone out there is feeling good.
Oh, you're very positive since Monday's Hawks debacle.
What happened on Monday?
Nothing happened on Monday. Just Geelong got an awesome winner. We've also got Marcus Bazzano. He is absolutely pumped up for Anzac Day. We're going to have a big Anzac Day preview. The Bombers, man. You got the Bombers scarf behind you.
Yes, I do indeed. It's a fantastic occasion, and honestly, I can't wait for tomorrow.
It's going to be so good. We're going together. It's going to be a massive...
holding hands, so...
Yeah.
If you see any two men kissing, you'll know it's us.
I don't know about that. We have to consent to that. That's what we're all about on this show. But we will be holding hands at some point. Let's get into this show as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell as well. It gives you the notifications, things like that. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, AFL Today Show. Have we got a count, or anyone have at least a soft count for me?
6,573.
How are we going towards the 10K?
That is a good guess. I
had a look at about 4 p.m. today. It's currently 6:27.
6.57.
6.57.
You got your 2s and your 5s mixed around.
I'm pretty sure I said that. Play the tape.
He said that?
Maybe, yeah. And then make sure you get around all the socials as well. That's AFL Today AU across Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Actually on Facebook, it is Aussie Rules Today, so make sure you jump on that. We've also got some posts from Yenar Beers, our sponsor there, which is going really well. You can win some beers and some T-shirts, hats and things like that.
Nice little giveaway.
So Yenar questions, which was this week, is Nick Dacos the best player in the competition?
We both said no.
No, I was going to say make sure you check out the short to find out, but Leo's just...
No, check out the short and give your abuse on that short.
There was quite a few comments on that short on YouTube that I saw, so they weren't pro Dacos. Let's say that.
No, yeah,
they
there
were
is.
Nakos.
They were in Nakos.
Very
there we
good.
go. Was that very good?
It was. I like that. That was very good.
I don't know about that. And of course, get around us on all the podcast platforms as well. We're going to get into this just straight away. Awesome show. We've got the Anzac Day preview. We're going to go through every single game, ins and outs, stats, tips and margins, big calls. Yep. I reckon we're going to get a few big calls right this week. I got a feeling.
If you see my big call, I don't know.
Actually, maybe not Marcus's one either.
My big call is...
Which we're very excited for.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the biggest home and away match in the AFL every single season. I stumbled across that. That's why you're having a giggle there. But round 7, Friday, Anzac Day. This is the big game, boys. 3:20 at the MCG. Collingwood versus Essendon. It's been going since 1995. We'll start off with the teams, and then we can go into a bit of Anzac Day chatter. So, teams, please. You can start with Collingwood, please, Leo, and you can do your Bombers.
Well, there's a few big ins for Collingwood. Dan Houston and Tim Membry are massive ins, and Lockie Sullivan comes in as well. Big out, so Darcy Moore, Mason Cox is a literal big out, and Edward Allen also omitted, with Cox also omitted.
Yes.
Interesting. Houston's a big in, isn't he? Probably gives Perryman a bit more freedom, gives Dacos a bit more freedom. Yeah, it's not good for the Bombers, is it, seeing that?
Yeah,
I know.
Not great, particularly because we presume it's going to be pretty wet throughout the game. So I assume that's why Mason Cox was omitted. Darcy Moore, obviously a tall defender.
In saying that, Membry and Houston aren't.
They're
not the best in the wet, right?
Defender.
Houston's very good in the wet. He kicked a goal after
Oh, yeah,
the
kicked a
siren
goal. Oh, yeah, I
against
forgot about that.
us when he was playing
At the
for
MCG
Adelaide.
as well.
I was there.
I was there too.
I hated it.
I forgot about that, actually. But yeah, so obviously Darcy Moore had a ear issue from his knock he got last week, which is a bit weird. So you don't get a Darcy Moore speech. I swear every Anzac Day it's like, oh, he does a bloody good speech.
Who are we going to get the speech from now this year, Stats Guy?
So, Nick Dacos, I'm all for it. A lot of people, there's a few haters out there for Nick Dacos, just because he's good. I think he's got that leadership vibe with like the Sheezel vibe, the young Bont vibe, the younger guys coming through. I think he's just got that vibe about it. So I'm all for it. What do you guys reckon?
I don't know. I feel I can kind of see the haters angle, as I
Why?
tend to do. Because
He's not-
just
he's
because
not-
you're the best player doesn't mean you're going to be the best
Is he
leader.
a hard man? That is the big question.
You don't need to be a hard
We're
man.
bringing
to
it from
For
cricket to footy.
reference, Marcus on our Cricket Today show references hard men when it comes to the best
Leaders of a country.
leaders, the best players. He's not, but I don't think it's
Is
relevant.
Pendle's a hard man?
And
he was a great captain.
Oh, he's stiffer than Nick Dacos.
Oh, Leo, he makes a good point.
But I think it's very much going to be still Pendlebury and side bottom led.
I think
Dacos is just there to, experience the armband as we say. But look, I don't hate it though.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, we've talked enough about Collingwood. Let's get on to the Essendon side. Your beloved Bombers, Marcus. The ins and outs, please.
Yeah, so Sam Draper is obviously the big out.
Another ruckman.
Ruckman done for the year. So that's 2 ruckman now, 2 left on the books. So I assume mid-season draft will probably pick someone up. But also omitted is Saad Al-Houli, who's just struggled to really make an impact with full game time. Hasn't been great, but I think that Port Adelaide debut is something you remember.
Yeah, I reckon he's been a bit
I don't
stiff.
think he will be the sub. I think it'll.
No, he's saying he has
stiff.
been subbed. That's why he hasn't been.
Oh, yeah, but he came on early against Melbourne. He came on in the first
did.
quarter.
He was all right against Melbourne, I reckon, but yeah.
But ins, big in, Kyle Langford
Yep.
as not a tall forward, but another option in that forward line, which
He was
is
really good. Was it last year?
struggled a little bit. Yeah,
Well,
last
he
year.
missed
Last couple of years,
missed
he's
the
been
chance
very
to
good.
win it last year. Kicked
True.
down the full.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He kicked a point,
Oh,
and it was
point, sorry.
it ended up being a draw. And the big end,
Yes.
Todd Goldstein replaces Sam
North
Draper, the
Melbourne
veteran
legend, the most hit outs in the game.
Essendon fan, Todd Goldstein.
Essendon fan.
Essendon
That's why he
fan.
came to the Bombers. Yeah, he's an Essendon fan.
Well, yeah, not after he played for North for 10 years, but yeah, I don't know.
Tell him that now. He's at the Bombers.
Yeah, you're big on a bit of Goldie action, which we'll touch on later. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, more just hoping that we don't get absolutely bathed, but you know what?
Bathed
Goldie's
or
there.
I think bathe is the word.
I don't know. I want to get washed by Todd Goldstein. Hopefully by the end of the game.
He lives around the corner from me, so if you want to.
Oh, you know where he lives?
Yeah, I know exactly where he lives. I see him at the I was going to say the tab.
YMCA?
A few different
Yeah,
places.
the tab.
Yes, he's always down there. A few more stats in this one. Collingwood have led the fixtures on Anzac Day, 17 wins to 10. So what are you doing, Essendon? They need to get a few more wins. There've been 2 draws in there. So obviously last year was a draw. Now,
Yes.
personally, as a neutral, I didn't think either team deserved to win that one. That was
Yeah, it's one of
chaos.
those ones where they both did their best to lose it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it was scarred and fueling. I remember watching that in Thailand, trying to live stream on the piddly Wi-Fi I had. But my heart was broken in 360p, so it was a little bit rough.
hopefully that's the first time
Yeah.
in 360p.
All right. That's
Sure.
I thought Marcus was going to say something there, and he
Sure.
gave you nothing. Come on, boys. You
Sure.
two. We need some more chemistry on the couch there. Let's get into the tips of this one, which
Yeah.
includes the Anzac Day medal. So
Okay.
I wrote down here, James Hird and Scott Pendlebury have won it a record amount of times. Obviously, Hird he can't win it anymore. Maybe you need to bring him back. Pendles can beat the record here. And 2023, Nick Dacos won. 2024, your man Zach Merritt won, which was a bit of a surprise. Not a surprise, but it was a draw. So interesting that you got that one. Who do we think's going to win? Anzac Day medal, boys.
I think Nick Dacos will win the Anzac Day medal.
Oh,
Boring.
big call over here. Oh.
That's a bit-
I'm not going to say mine for the viewers because it is part of my big call. So I'll wait till the big
Okay.
call segment.
mind
So
that. Bit of
wait until the
suspense.
end.
Bit of suspense.
Wait until the end. Who you think I?
Who you're going to pick?
Who I think is going to win the Anzac Day medal?
Correct. You're on fire today.
Sorry,
Leo, you've gone
sorry.
Nick Dacos. I'll go on my camera here. Nick, I'm going to go Pendles. I'm going to go Scott Pendlebury. He's just been dominating on Anzac Days for so many years now. I think this is an awesome way, probably his last year or his second last year, just to wrap it up with the Anzac Day medal. I think he's going to absolutely dominate. He's had a couple of games this year with 30 plus disposals, the old boy, so why not?
It goes well.
Yeah, it goes well. All right, tips and margin, because you guys are shambles. Let's just get it out there. Tips, margin, Leo.
I think Pies by 7. On paper, I think Collingwood have a stronger team.
Yep.
But Essendon lifts for these games, so it'll be close.
They do. Since the Kevin Sheedy days when he was teaching them all about it.
Yeah, well, we've won the last 5 Anzac Day matches that we've won have been
Bro, you got to spit it out.
every 4 years. Every 4 years. So that means this year is the year. Last time we won it was 2021, which is why I'm going to go Dons by 1.
1 point.
1
Oh,
point.
no.
I don't have much faith. I actually think we're going to get demolished.
No, you said
but
1.
I'm going the Dons.
No, I like it. You said
Right
that with
here
chest.
first.
And you've got a stat
do
to
it.
back it up. Every 4 years, for the last 5 wins, you've got to win every 4 years. So there we go. There we go.
Written
I'm
in
going to
the
go
stars.
Pies by. I'm going to up it a bit. I'm going to go 25. I just
Really?
think I know that Essendon will lift, but I don't think it can be for more than 3 quarters. I think Collingwood are a much better team. They're absolutely fine. They're on top of the ladder. The Bombers aren't that good. They beat Melbourne. Whooped, but wow. And they just snuck over West Coast. So I know they'll live for the occasion, but I think it'll be for about 3 quarters. I think Peter Wright could have a really good game, but the midfield and the likes of Houston just going to take over for the Pies. So there we go. Pies by 25. All right, there is another game on Friday night, which I'm not that big of a fan of. But the game itself will be really good. Fremantle versus Adelaide, Friday night, 8:10 at Optus Stadium, lads. Let's get into the teams. You can start us off, Marcus, with Freo, please.
Yeah, Freo have got 3 changes to their team. James Aish omitted along with Bailey Banfield and Yago Mira. Just can't get a good run in the side at the moment. He is also out injured. In comes Corey Wagner, Heath Chapman, and Quinton Narkle.
Sparkle Narkle.
Sparkle
I love
Narkle.
Sparkle Narkle.
Into the side. I believe that's going to be his first game for Fremantle after played a little bit for Essendon, then for obviously Geelong, Essendon, Port Adelaide, and now he's at his 4th club.
I think that's a bit of something that Freo
I don't
need.
remember him at Essendon.
Yeah, he played in our VFL team for a little bit,
yeah.
and he did. I believe he did
No, I
play
don't think he
a
played
game as a sub.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I believe.
That's it. I don't mind that. I think Freo do need a little bit of a Sparkle Narkle.
He's probably going to be sub.
Most likely.
Specialist sub.
What about the Adelaide team, Leo?
Adelaide team. So 2 big ins with Josh Rochelle and James Peatling coming back. But a big out in Darcy Fogarty, obviously injured, and Sam Berry omitted.
How did Sam Berry go last week? Because we talked him
sub.
up. Did he? I didn't actually see how he
He was
went.
sub. He came on for, I forgot who, but played as a midfielder. He did all right.
He
but-
got 6 disposals.
So stiff to get dropped after being the sub. I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like that's harsh.
But you're the sub for a reason.
when you've got Peatling and Rochelle coming back in, you're not going
that's
to.
true.
You're the sub for a reason, though, I reckon.
Big ins.
Yeah, what I said before, lads, I just wanted your opinion on it. What do we reckon? Should Anzac Day just have the one fixture, the big game?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Even Good Friday, I know North versus Carlton is nowhere near as big, but just having the 2 games, I don't know about that. If you're trying to have like Easter Monday's not going to have 2 games. Why is Anzac Day?
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think if they were going to have this second game, I feel like it should have been like the derby in the West.
Yeah.
Freo, obviously they've played each other already, but that's how I would have scheduled it.
'Cause then it
big
means
occasion,
people-
big day,
more
bigger
people watch it.
rivalry, more people watching.
True.
Just this more
Or a
grit
showdown.
in the game. Showdown.
Well, Leo's not.
I don't think the showdown would have the same effect on a different day as it does.
Yeah, true. Showdown's
Yeah,
already
Anzac Day.
watched by like everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fair enough. I've got a few more stats for you, lads. 7 of the last 8 matches at Optus have been won by the away team. I think that's because West Coast play there. But
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Freo,
It's a bit skewed.
Freo have lost a few home
I was
games
gonna
as
say,
well.
Freo beat the Dogs there
Just.
recently.
Yep. So that's probably the one that they won. And the 7 of the last 8 though have been won by the away team. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two also have been at the Adelaide Oval. So they don't usually play out at Optus Stadium, the Crows, which would be a bit of an interesting one. There's a few teams like that. I don't understand the AFL fixturing sometimes where you haven't played at a stadium for like 6 years, like North and Port.
Yeah, we'll get to that. North and Port.
I don't understand that, but yeah. A few more. I've really loved Andrew Brayshaw. I talked about this the other day. He's averaging 30 disposals and 7 clearances the last month. Has he been their best player this season for Freo? I think he has.
I wouldn't say he's been their best player. I think Josh Tracy's been their best player.
Yeah, maybe outside of
Big
Tracy.
Kahuna.
The big,
But, in terms of the midfield, I think Caleb Sarong's probably been a tiny bit underwhelming to start the season.
It's so harsh because his standard's so high.
It is. Yeah.
that's why I felt a little bit harsh, but I think he can lift a bit, and that will help Freo. My
Yep.
opinion.
I agreed. I just think if Freo need to become a genuine side, they have to win matches like these, and they also probably need a little bit more goals from midfield. Perhaps why that's Quinton Narkle's in. He can probably
Hayden
chip in
Young.
1 or 2.
Hayden Young. Well, Hayden Young was playing full forward against Richmond a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he could chip in.
It's Richmond.
Freo. Yeah, he did. I was there at the
Oh,
Barossa.
I was going to say they played Melbourne on the weekend.
No, at the Barossa, mate. The beautiful Barossa that was 35 degrees. Oh.
Lovely.
Then another one, Thriller, Phil Thorpe. He's kicked 3+ in his last 4 away games. He didn't get the job done in our group multi that we had, but he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good.
He has been good to start the season. A little bit more reliance on him as well with Darcy Fogarty injured. That'll be a big out for the Crows.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, or we can just get into the tips and margins, lads?
Yeah, I can tip.
Just tips. Leo, give me a tip and margin. And I've got a little news segment that I want to do for this one, but you can go first.
It's the battle of the untrustworthy teams.
It is.
So I'm going to go Freo by 15.
Oh.
And I have no confidence.
So you're not
in
picking
that.
a draw? Both drop points?
Oh, mate, you know what? It could be a draw. You know? If a game's ever going to be a draw, it's this one.
So a tentative tip of the draw.
This is whatever your tip is tentative. I could tip Adelaide by 9.
9 goals.
This game is just weird, and whoever wins it, like, well done, I suppose.
Yeah, Marcus, your tip.
I'm going to go Fremantle just purely because of the home ground advantage. I they have to win these type of games.
Yeah,
like
they
I
do,
said,
yeah.
especially at Optus Stadium. Adelaide obviously coming off a big result against GWS.
Yep.
It's just whether they can either bounce back with strong performances against good sides that are fellow finals contenders, or drop these sort of games.
Yeah, good call. All right, I'm going to try and persuade you on your tips here, lads. I got a new segment for this one. Stats guys, hear me out. So now,
Here we go.
you're
Paint
gonna-
a picture like Leo's painting a
I
picture.
can paint a picture. I'll paint a
Okay.
picture. This is how the Crows are going to win. So Adelaide, they've won their first half in their last 6 matches. All right, just get that in here. They're really good in the first half. Obviously, they were really good in the first half against Geelong. Now Freo, 8 of the last 9 games Freo have been down at half time. They've lost. They don't like being down at half time. They're not a comeback team. They haven't had a comeback win in, I think, about 6 games since the last times they've been down at half time. Now, obviously, Crows got a really strong start against Geelong. Geelong are a much better team than Freo, got the job done being 30 points down. I reckon the Crows are going to jump them, get a 30-point lead in Freo, and not going to come back at all. So that's why I'm going the Crom. And just hear me out, lads. Hear me out.
It was a long picture.
No, it's good. I like the long pictures.
Yeah, he likes painting a picture.
I respect the effort put in, and
Yeah.
I respect the
Do
reasoning.
you like the stat there?
It makes
I
sense.
respect the stat
All
as you being the stats guy.
Thank you.
I'm
you don't have to-
still
yeah.
tipping Freo.
That's fine.
because of the. I don't think Adelaide can jump them.
I think they can.
Away.
They're the best first half team in the comp right now.
Yeah, but they're due a bad first half. Then
Oh no, there's so many
that's logic right there.
Yeah,
There's
that's not logic.
so many question marks about both these sides. Like Leo said, it could go either way.
Yeah, anyway, so that means I'm going Crom. I'm going the Crows by 15 points. I think they'll get a 20, 30-point lead, and then the Dockers, or From, as you call them,
The Dokers.
From, will not be getting that lead back.
The Dokers.
I reckon Crows will win, lead all the way through.
Don't
There we go.
mind that.
Interesting.
There we go. Hear me out. All right, Saturday games. Let's get into them for the next one. St Kilda versus Brisbane, 1:20 at Marvel Stadium. This is a big one because the Saints need to bounce back after that horrid performance. And Brisbane, well, they had a horrid performance as well against Collingwood at their own home ground.
Yeah, they sure did. Both teams desperate need of a win based off their previous performance. You'd obviously favour Brisbane in this one, considering they have a good record against St Kilda. They won the last 6.
Yes.
And they got a good record at Marvel as well, 11-3, I
Yes,
believe.
in the last 6 years as well. Yeah, yeah.
So they play well at this stadium. St Kilda, I was expecting a lot more than against the Dogs.
Same. I tipped them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but
they,
Leo's, I feel like you've been blindly tipping them a little bit.
Of course not.
they make 2 omissions for this game. Liam Henry omitted. He
Really?
He had
Yeah,
one
struggled to-
disposal and then got subbed out.
Yeah, he just
I
struggled
really
to have that
rate him, buddy. I
impact.
know he had a crap game, yeah.
Yeah, he's someone that can provide the spark. Obviously, Jack Higgins is doing a big load of that down forward at
Yeah.
the moment.
3 goals a game.
And Ari Schoenmaker also got omitted. Dougal Howard and Isaac Keeler.
I don't
come
mind a bit of
into the
Dougal.
side.
Crap name, but good player.
It's all right. He's serviceable.
Would you name your
Yes.
kid Dougal? That's the big question.
Doug.
No.
Doug the Rug.
Doug, I don't
Doug.
want to name my kid
Doug
Dougal.
the
or
Rug
Doug.
Mullaly.
Yeah, don't know about that
I don't
one.
mind it.
Leo, Brisbane's team, please.
Brisbane's team. Kai Loman, huge income.
Oh, I love him.
comes-
And his hair. Oh,
got
it's
good
going to
hair.
be in the wind.
Comes in for Sam Marshall. Now, one player I want to touch on, which you have in the run sheets. That's
Sure.
Hugh McCluggage.
Oh,
He's had 5 games, 22 plus disposals, and 6 plus clearances. Question for you. Does Windhager tag him? Or does he tag Neil? Or does he
There's
tag
too
Dunkley?
many- there's
Or
too
does he
many.
tag Will?
Zorko.
Or does he tag Levi? Who does he tag? That's the one I want to know.
There's too many of them. There's
I
too
reckon
many
he tags
dudes.
Dunkley. No, sorry, Neil. Not Dunkley.
You'd
Why
have to.
was I
Neil
thinking-
has a very good record against St Kilda as
And
well.
It probably just suits Windhager's grittiness.
And he's got a good
McCluggage
tank
is
on
a
him.
bit more endurance.
I'd
like,
say right
yeah.
now the most impactful player for Brisbane is McCluggage.
But can Windhager tag him?
I
Well,
don't think.
I feel like Windhager struggled against the Dogs.
I don't
Oh,
think
man,
there's been a
they all do,
tagger.
bro. They
Yeah,
all
well,
do.
yeah.
There
true.
hasn't been a tagger since the first couple of rounds that has actually done a good job,
Mm.
in my opinion. So I don't know. You as a team, sometimes if the tag's not working, you got to figure out a way. That's what they tried to tag. They've been trying to tag Dacos, not working.
Yep.
I don't know if you can tag Neil. Like he's not. Is he going to be able to stop Neil? I think possibly he could stop McCluggage. I don't know,
Interesting.
it suits him a little bit more, but
Mm.
I'd be going for I'd be putting 2 on McCluggage. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been very good.
He's been
He's
so good,
probably
yeah.
probably
All-Australian?
been their best player, Brisbane's best player.
Would he be in an All-Australian jacket at the moment?
100% get him
Yeah,
on the wing.
wing because we
Think
want
so?
actual wingmen on the Australian team.
Yes.
They
yes.
can't keep getting
I'm
away
all
with this,
for it.
Leo.
Yeah, Massimo on the other wing.
That's Samaro, yeah.
Well, the
That's
All-Australian
amazing.
will look a little bit different this year so far. You'd have George Hewitt in there, who's
Yeah,
not
but
a
that
regular.
won't last.
Oh, it could. There's Olivia behind the camera, almost had a heart attack. I reckon it will. He's very good.
He's a consistent performer, and I feel like he'd go to.
He was better at Sydney.
Cripps. You'd probably go to Cripps and maybe not Walsh, but before you tag.
Yeah, you're not tagging Hewitt, are you?
Oh,
Yeah, I
you
wouldn't
could.
tag Hewitt.
He's a very good player. Two-way running player, though. He gets a lot of tackles and things like that. You could.
Nah.
You could.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we're talking
more
about
on
George
this.
Hewitt on this game.
Yeah, how are we talking about Georgia? Two guys that were really crap last week, but they're having a really good season is Nas Wanganeen-Miller and Jack Sinclair. We
Yes.
talked about them being the best two halfback pairings.
Yep.
But where were they last week? Leo, your men, where were they?
Oh, do you want me to ring up and
Yeah, can you go and ask them? Knock, knock.
wing? It's Hugh McCluggage and the All Australian team.
Jeez.
And the ball's coming in there so easily, and they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
really
true,
struggle
true.
to.
You're pinning them on them two, as the whole team was terrible.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Let's let them off. They can have bad weeks.
Yep, fair enough. All right, we've talked about this enough. Let's get into the tips and margin. Marcus, who are you going?
I'm going to go the Lions. I think it's not going to be a comfortable margin like you'd expect, 7-8 goals, but I do think it's going to be about 24 points.
Yep.
But it will be a cruisy victory.
Cruisy victory. Leo?
Heart says Saints, head says Lions.
So
And what are you going with?
Go with your head.
I'm going with the head, unfortunately.
Because you love the
decision.
Saints. So you're going,
I'd go with that as
Brisbane.
well.
I think that's the smart option. They're really good at Marvel, as Marcus mentioned, 11-3 there the last 6 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Lions by 30. I think they'll win this pretty comfortably and they'll have that sort of margin most of the way through. The Saints, similar to the game against GWS, they stayed in it in the last quarter a little bit.
Yep.
And Leo was like, oh, there could be a comeback, but they won't come back and Lions will be too good. Lions don't play like that 2 weeks in a row.
No, they don't.
They
No.
got absolutely smashed. They'll bounce back.
Well, it ended a 10-match winning streak for Brisbane.
Yes, it did.
And they will look to bounce back because they got top spot taken off them. And they don't have the best percentage, funnily enough.
Yeah, 105.
For a team that's 5-1,
Yeah, it's like the Hawks.
to have 105% isn't great. So they'll probably look to improve that here.
Good call. All right, the next one on Saturday. We can just skip over this one as a North fan. No, Port Adelaide versus
God.
North Melbourne. Saturday, 4:15 at North's favourite ground, the Adelaide Oval.
Woo!
Oh, jeez.
Our teams are playing each other.
Port, you can't go for Port, Saints, Hawthorn. Who else do
I
you
got
go
a
for?
Brisbane scar.
So, I just want to get it out there because I am the stats guy, but this is my least favourite stat to say, but it is true.
You don't have to say it.
No, we're going to say it. We're going to give the people the stats. North, we have never won at the Adelaide Oval. 0-12.
Until this Saturday when
No.
they beat Port Adelaide.
No, that's not happening.
Ooh.
0-12 all time at the Adelaide Oval. And also, this is an even worse one. We've lost the first quarter in our last 24 away matches.
24 away matches.
Do you remember the time you won it away?
No. Wait, one an away game.
Holy.
No, the first quarter.
No, first quarter.
24 away matches.
What this is saying to me is I should just turn it on maybe after the first quarter.
So what you're telling me you haven't won a first quarter since
No.
2023?
2022
2022
maybe.
away.
Away.
Yeah. Oh, away first quarter.
Yeah,
for about
legit.
3 years.
How bad is that?
That's really bad.
So that's a really bad start. Teams, who wants to
Oh,
do Port
yes, the
Adelaide?
teams.
Yeah, actually,
The
Leo
Port
loves
Adelaide fan.
even though he's half lying.
Oh, look at this beloved Port Adelaide side. Joe Richards, Jeremy Finlayson, Joe Berry come in. Love a double Joe action there. Joe Richards is a little sneaky forward, isn't he?
He's good. He's good.
He was the live wire against Hawthorn in that first quarter.
Yep.
Very good. Rory Atkins, Travis Boak, and Tom Cochrane come out of the side. And
Wait, is Boak dropped?
Boak
injured.
is
I was going to say,
injured.
because he's still been...
Sorry, I have that up here as well. Cochrane is injured and Atkins has been omitted.
Yep.
Look, they backed it up. They
2
backed
weeks
it
in a
up.
row. Yep.
And they're probably going to do 3 in a row. If they lose this after beating Sydney and Hawthorn, I can't be a Port Adelaide
If they
fan.
lose
Well, it's not
this-
Port Adelaide because they lost to Essendon and St Kilda the 2 weeks prior to beating
What are
Hawthorn
they
and Sydney.
doing?
They're actually...
Seriously.
If Port lose this game, Ken should be sacked immediately.
No, that's
That's my opinion. Just for a
They
laugh.
just beat Hawthorn and
for a
Sydney.
laugh.
Just for a laugh. Like, he's gone anyway. Get rid of him. If they lose to North, come on.
Well, I mean, they don't have the best of records, North Melbourne, but they
they'll win.
did survive
No.
a scare on the team sheet because Harry Sheasel did go down
Yes.
today in the match sim with what looked like he was hobbling around with a lower leg injury.
Interesting. I
But
did not know this.
He is named in the side.
He's named in the side.
But who is not named in the side, Aiden Core and Griffin Logue, 2 big tall defenders omitted
Oh, I don't know about that.
as well. Zach Fisher obviously did that hammy and he's out injured.
Zach Fisher going out. Obviously, sad that he's done a hammy.
Yep.
That is. I reckon him or Caleb Daniel were going to get dropped anyway because
Stevens needs
we
to
we cannot have two small guys in our backline that just don't man up and just go. Oh, I'm just going to run and get 30 touches and not man up.
He did play all right against Gold Coast.
Actually he was good against Gold Coast, but Gold Coast
Who, Fisher?
didn't bring the. He did.
He didn't turn the ball over.
He had like 30 touches or something. He was actually pretty good.
It was not bad.
But in terms of defending, I mean, which is our big worry,
Yes.
we can't have him and Caleb Daniel on the same side.
Yeah.
It's just two liabilities.
So, as a North fan, what are your thoughts on these ins? Callan Dawson, Jackson Archer, obviously a huge in after his suspension, and Riley Hardiman.
All right, so only one of them is a good player, and that is Jackson Archer. I think.
Like, two are very early on in their career.
Yeah, I'm just saying right now, in terms of like, I don't think this is the answer. Like, Core and Logue, they've obviously been woeful, but in terms of one-on-one and things like that, I don't think it's been their fault at all. So if I'm dropping people from North, I'm looking at the midfield. I'm looking at some of the wingers. I'm looking at, I don't know, like Dylan Stevens, for example.
Yep.
Or I'm not looking at the actual one-on-one defenders.
But Port Adelaide aren't very tall in the forward line.
That's
which
true. That's true.
You could see probably why they did omit them. But still, is it just a statement from Clarkson?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Dunno.
We'll see.
Can I call out a North player? It's going to be very harsh.
Sure.
Colby McKercher.
Yes.
Oh, no, he has been very bad.
Find a hard ball, mate.
Second year. But
Find a hard ball.
Him, Sheezel.
He's struggling to get 15 disposals.
I know, which is very rare.
It's just the fact that like every time he has to be tough and put his head over
He
the ball,
jerks out of the contest.
He's just he's not there. He's something like he's a bit of a cat. He's
He
a bit
is,
of a
he
cat.
is.
And him and Stevens patrolling the wings is a bit. They should just start throwing the ball back in because they're boundary umpires.
Boundary umpires, they're always out on the. I like that. Just one more. Oh, you want to say something?
I was going to say just one more on the North Melbourne team.
Yep.
I've also heard from Marnie Cohen, who we had last week,
Yes.
that Darcy Tucker is playing in the forward line. He's been in the match sim. He was playing in the forward line, and he will likely look to put a negating role on Connor Rosie.
I
in
don't
his new
mind
role
that,
He's
but like,
not a negating.
no, he's an
no.
outside player, so I don't mind it because we're changing it up. Because usually we get in this stale thing of not changing it up. But is that the answer? Like, we got our forward line's all right.
I think Clarko's gone senile.
Yeah, I think he has.
Darcy Tucker is not. Doesn't man up that quickly. I think Rosie's gonna have a field day.
Yeah. All right. But I got one more stat, and then let's get in the tips and margin. We got Paul Curtis and Jack Higgins are actually the only two players to kick 2+ goals in all possible 2025 games. So every round they've kicked 2+ goals. So Paul Curtis, he's been unbelievable. At least that's a sign for North. But the likes of Rosie running off halfback is just fixed Port. Jason Horne-Francis has been so consistent.
Yep.
Butters is getting 30+ on a goal every week. Port surely going to smash them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we think?
In saying that, I do think it's going to be relatively high scoring though, because both sides struggled defensively this season, particularly Port Adelaide. And you look at the form of some of the North Melbourne forwards.
Yeah, they've
like
been
you said,
all right.
Paul
Yeah,
Curtis, Nick Larkey always bobs up with at least 2 every game.
Yep.
So
What's
look,
your
I still
tips and
think Port
margin
win.
here?
I
By
still
how
think
much?
Port win, but I'll go 20 points.
Oh, that's.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a lot more. I'm actually might change it to even more.
I think Port win this by 33 points.
That's reasonably close, lads. Did
It's
you
not
watch us
close.
last week?
Oh, what are you going then?
Port are a better team than Carlton, in my opinion. And maybe I'm just being angry from last week, but Port at home for a ground. This is the worst ground North has ever played at. Port by 50 points at least.
Records are meant to be broken. Stats guy, have some faith.
I wish.
Have some faith.
I don't know. I just feel like Port kind of lift their mentality for who
For the
they
big
play.
games. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
North not a big game. And I reckon North's goal kicking, 75% of it will be Larky and Curtis.
Probably. Anyway, we've talked way too long about that game. Let's get into the next one. Saturday night, one of the biggest rivalries in AFL footy. GWS
Crazy
taking on
to
the
say.
Western Bulldogs. I think it is. 7:35 in Canberra at Manuka Oval. I think it is one of the biggest rivalries in footy.
I do think that, but you just like you look at the clubs
At their
solely
clubs, yeah.
and like respectively.
Yeah.
GWS and Western
Small
Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't picture them as a rival, but
I wrote about
it
this
is
on
one of the best.
odds.com.au actually about the article. So obviously they had captain Ryan Griffin left them to go to GWS.
Yes.
Tomboy.
There was 2 finals, 2016 and 2019, some huge finals, especially 2016. People regard that. Was it elimination?
It was the prelim
Prelim final is one of the best games of all time, the best finals of all time.
Yep.
I think that was awesome.
No,
That was
it
in
wasn't.
That was in.
I
Sydney
think
as
it
well.
was.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. And there's been a lot of beef. Toby Green karate kicked
Toby Green
someone.
in the face. I was
there's
with
been-
our house. So yeah,
Callum Ward obviously is a GWS legend, but he's also, they love him at the Dogs. So there's just a lot of beef. They're always
They
fights.
went after the Bont.
They went after the Bont. So I'm really excited for this one because it's just a big matchup.
Yep.
Let's go through the teams. Leo, can you go GWS for me,
I
please?
can. Jesse Hogan, massive in. Callum Brown omitted. I think that's understandable. Jesse Hogan back in is going to cause
That's good, yeah.
a lot of issues, you'd think, for this Dogs defense. I've also just noticed a Bulldog out. That is massive.
Yeah.
That is a massive out.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Lockie McNeil.
Wait, is that, what? Oh, he's injured. That's all right, Lockie McNeil. But the other big out, Marcus?
The other big out is Liam Jones.
I can't believe that.
Omitted.
Wait, really?
Omitted.
Bevo, he's had such a good run this year. He hasn't bevoed anyone.
He hasn't been that
think-
good, Jones.
He hasn't, but I
But
still think
they
he is
need him.
one of the best tall defenders in the competition. I might come into flack for saying that.
Nah, get out of this studio.
Okay, let's break it down.
I think he is.
Let's
Last-
paint a picture.
He'd be in the top. He'd be in the top 6 for me.
Last season, he was fantastic.
Yes,
This
He's been
season,
crap.
he's been crap. He's
But-
been out of form.
he has.
He's
I wouldn't say he's in the top 6. I would say the top 10 key defenders. That's where I.
But can we get into the ins because that relates to the Liam Jones?
Nah.
Nah. Marcus, the ins, please.
The ins for the Dogs. James Harms back in the side. He got suspended. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Latham Vandermeer as well back in the side, who did have a pretty good start to the year.
Spanny.
And the bus, he's in.
He's in.
He's
Finally.
finally making his debut. Jed Buslinger comes into the side for
Big
Saturday
bus.
night.
So is he in for? I don't know much about him, but you mentioned the other
He's
week.
a
He's a
key
tall
defender.
man. He's a key defender. So he's coming for
Yes.
Liam Jones.
He's an interceptor.
Yes.
So do you,
A lot were surprised to not see him at the very start of the season.
yeah, there was big raps on him. Obviously, it was a high draft pick. Yeah.
It's a big job, though. Does he go to Cadman or does he go to Hogan?
What's a big job for Rory Lobb on Jesse Hogan?
If you assume that's the matchup. yeah.
I would. You're not going to put Buslinger on Hogan, are you? I think Hogan.
No,
would
but
be-
as Stats Guy likes to say, that's what they have put in the lineups.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in the lineups. but
Oh,
I just think it's funny. I
That's
laugh.
right.
I'm allowed to have a laugh about it.
Oh.
I'm
I
allowed
think
to
you're
have
the
a laugh.
only one that thinks it's
He
funny.
thinks the AFL are liars.
They hunt, mate. Have you met the AFL?
Yeah,
Have you
fair
met
play.
the AFL? They're big liars.
corrupt dogs.
Yeah, they spin off. Where did that come from? Talking about the Dogs, they've won 8 of the last 10 meetings. Stop saying segue. It's just a part of the show, mate. The Dogs have won 8 of the last 10 meetings, including the last 2 comfortably in 2024. I reckon they're still in their heads from the 2016 finals. They've won a lot of games since then over the GWS.
Yep.
Giants, there's a real rivalry here. Sam Darcy, which we didn't touch on that much, is obviously out.
Yes.
But they confirmed there's no surgery for the big man, which is so good because people thought it might be an ACL.
2 to 3 months. It looked bad, the hyperextension,
Yeah.
obviously. And we obviously saw the family come out of the change rooms. Sister was crying, parents deep in conversation. But luckily, we should see him back before the end of the year.
Yeah, which is very, very handy. Another one I wanted to touch on is Ed Richards. Last year, he averaged 28 disposals, 7 clearances, and a goal across the last 2 meetings of GWS. He's been really
Wow.
good. You got
Yep.
Libba, who's in career best form. Sign him on for 10 more years, lads.
Yep. Gets better with age.
Oh, he's so good. The way he runs, I just love it.
I love the
I want to
way
run
he
like
moves.
Libba. Just go like this. All right, tips and margin to wrap it up for this one with this big rivalry game Saturday night. Leo,
It's tough.
it is
It's
tough.
really tough. But this is what we're here to do. Say the tough stuff. Giants win by 4.
Oh, I think it's gonna be close as well, Marcus.
I think it'll be close, but a little bit more than you guys probably suggest. I'll go GWS. I'll go GWS by 16 points, despite the Dogs' good record at Manuka.
Yes, so the Dogs actually have a 6-3 record at Manuka, which is a bit of a
Yes.
surprise. GWS, when they first went there, were really bad. They could hardly win there, but they've won their last 3 there. So a bit of confidence.
Yep.
They've also got the number 1 defense in the competition, only allowing like 64 points a game. So I'm leaning towards GWS in this one by 10 points. But this is for me personally, this is the hardest tip of the round, just because the Dogs live for this game. Like you said, Essendon live for the Anzac Day. Dogs love playing against the Giants. So
Yep.
it'll be really close, but the Giants by 10 points. And I reckon Aaron Cadman a big game.
They need to bounce back as well after that Adelaide performance.
Absolutely, that was woeful. 34 points. I reckon they'll kick 100 plus just to prove that they can kick a big score.
And I brought Toby Green into my Supercoach
Oh,
team.
don't tell me about it. Don't speak
Oh,
to me. I just
What did he
don't.
get?
30
actually?
points.
Oh,
Break even was 24.
Oh.
He's still
Yeah,
being
result.
break even, but
Oh.
still.
no good
Max
boy.
McAllion did a job.
He did do a job. He's very good.
Yeah.
You can touch on him. Sunday. Let's get into the Sunday games.
Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. Gold Coast versus Sydney. I think this will be a really good game. Sunday, 1:15 at People's First Stadium. This would be a fun matchup. Obviously,
It will.
Gold Coast coming off a horrible loss to Richmond. The Dimmer curse is still alive. And Sydney as well. They came back against Port, but they just couldn't get the job done.
Yep.
Gold Coast team, please, Marcus.
Yeah, well, no force changes for either side, apparently, but they have named 3 extended ins, Gold Coast. Braden Fiorini, our boy, friend of the show,
Oh!
Ned Moyle.
Ned.
On the
As
extended bench.
On the extended bench, so
Bring
he
him
might
in.
not play, but Sam Closey also joins him.
When does Ned Moyle just have to take out Witsy's legs? Because he's
Witsy's never leaving.
he's gone
He's
well
a
in the
dinosaur.
VFL, Ned Moyle.
How old is Jared
Ned
Witts
Moyle
now?
to Essendon.
Oh,
But
that's
then we'd
not
hate
bad.
Ned Moyle.
Yeah, I don't want to hate
Well,
Ned Moyle.
considering that we can't trade in between clubs during mid-season, probably not, because Draper will be
postseason.
back post-season. We got Nick Bryan, we got Vigo.
Yeah, true.
Vigo, I love that guy. 30. So Jared Witts is 32.
32.
How old do you reckon he looks?
I just googled Jared Witts and it came up with a photo of John Noble, so
Yes,
that is great.
What are they doing down at Gold Coast? That's just disrespectful to a great. Teams for Sydney, please, Leo.
So again, it's just to the extended bench. Ben Payton, Peter Laddams, and the Beef Shaldrick
Beef Shaldrick.
in with
Yep.
no one out at the moment. But I reckon they'll make a few changes
They have
because
to.
of their
They have
loss.
to.
I think Corey Warner's under the pump. Caden Cleary, Tom Hannelly, Pride Bice on the extended bench.
Oh, well, he's staying in the team. He's an
You'd hope
elite
so.
kick. He's
You'd
a
hope so.
great
But
mustache.
even still, though, those ins don't fill me with confidence for Sydney.
And
They've- the change has to come from within.
That sounded like
Warner and Heaney lift.
Hey, what about Chad Warner? Big news, boys.
What happened?
Marcus?
He signed for 2 years.
Oh.
Obviously, that takes him
What?
into free agency. So
Why'd you say it like that? That's pretty big
Bravo.
news.
he can
It is
go
big news.
over to West Australia. We talked about this pre-pod.
Yes.
If you had to pick between West Coast and Fremantle, if you had the choices,
Right now,
who
Right
do
now,
you think he
I'm
would pick?
picking Subiaco.
No, let's say at the end of his 2-year
He's
deal,
Fremantle.
He's Fremantle.
at the end of his 2-year extension,
So who do you
Who are
think
you
will be
picking?
better, Freo or West Coast?
100%
Freo will still be better, but
Don't overthink this, lads. It's 100%
Freo still might
Freo.
not be in finals though.
Yeah, but West Coast will still be bottom 6. 100%.
most likely.
In my opinion.
They'll still be ahead of North.
No, I don't agree with that. Don't get me started on that. That could be true, but surely you're going Freo. Because just say you put Chad Warner in that team, that's a pretty damn good team.
It is a good team, but
They
it's
don't
still
need
not
him,
competitive enough, though.
You don't reckon?
No.
They don't need him.
Yep. Oh yeah, but he could play like half forward.
No, he's not a half forward. He's a
Kick a
mid.
few, kick a
His
few
best
stands.
influence is bursting out of the middle with his
And they've
raw
got
pace.
Brayshaw and Sarong. You're right.
And
Shots from
young.
50.
And Young.
No, I
The Eagles,
just
the
think- I
Eagles
just-
need him more.
Yeah, they'll go to West Coast.
They do.
You
I just don't
reckon?
think
Bucket
Justin
in,
Longmuir is the right man for Fremantle, but that's a different story.
He's
Let's get
just
back
a-
to Gold
he's
Coast
such a
Sydney.
How
fun
are we
guy.
talking about Fremantle?
Yeah, I know. How are we talking about Fremantle? Well, you sound like Alex on the show sometimes. The Gold Coast as well have won 14 of the last 15 games at home. We always talk about them at home. They're just unstoppable up there. The Swans, though, they've actually won 6 of their last 7 away games against the Suns.
So they're not unstoppable up there.
No, but we'll get into the tips soon, and we'll decide that for ourselves.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a contrasting bit of A, bit of B. It doesn't have to be.
okay, don't hate it.
The stats don't have to
hate
back
it.
everything
A,
up.
B.
Yeah, a bit A, B. Ben Long and Ben King, the two Bens, which Leo's big call got up the other week against North, have combined for 31 goals this season, lads. Have they been one of the best 1-2 pairing this season?
I think there's a couple at Adelaide that'll beg to differ.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have kicked as many goals, I don't
Yeah, but they're big, hunky men.
Yes.
think. Which is exactly
very
what we like.
true.
Exactly what we like to watch.
There we go.
Well, Gold Coast are the best points per game side in the competition at
Yeah,
the
the
moment.
best offense in
And
the
they played
league.
one game less.
They have, yes.
But
So that's what I mean. That's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, well, Adelaide are the only team that are probably better than them at the moment. And you talked about their tall forward stocks. But still, it is a worry for Sydney, and that's why I'm going to tip Gold Coast.
Oh, he's
I
going
think
to tip
at
Gold
home,
Coast.
home
I'm
ground
joking.
advantage.
I think we all are.
I'm going to go Gold Coast by 4 points. And I think if Sydney do lose this, which I think we're thinking,
Yep.
do they make finals from here?
I'm going to say nope. And one of the only people
might be
to
a
call
yeah,
that,
no on
one of the
that.
only people to call that was producer Olivia behind the camera tonight. She said that they weren't going to make the finals, and
in the-
everyone
Get her
was
on
like,
the
I don't
pod.
know.
And in the same breath, she said Rory Laird was the top 10 midfielder. So
Oh, I was giving her her flowers, and then you just shut it down.
But also goes Rory Laird unders. So
Yeah.
Laurie Red.
Rory
Rory
Laird,
Laird.
the desk.
But genuinely, the Swans won't make finals if they lose this one. I think they need to win this one, and they won't. I'm going to go Suns by 30. I think they're going to bounce back. I think that was a bit of an outlier at Marvel, and the Swans just didn't look too good.
Yeah, I think Suns by 9, and I just think if they lose this, then they won't make finals or don't deserve to make finals.
Is there a world where if Richmond win tonight, we're recording this on a Thursday, once the teams are announced, they could jump the Sydney Swans come the end of the round?
Oh, that's funny.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know.
I'm all for it.
There we go. I don't know if I love that, so I'm being a bit more negative because that means they're getting a lot better than North.
Yeah, they already are, mate.
No, they're not yet.
They won one more game than you.
It's stressful.
They beat Gold Coast, who you got smashed by the week before.
Very true.
Yeah, but we didn't play them at Marvel.
I think they would have beaten you, mate.
No, they would have. They would have. All right, that's enough for that one. Let's get into the biggest Sunday game, arguably the second biggest game of the round, I'm going to say, outside of Anzac
The
Day.
second biggest game on Sunday, thank you.
No, what, Hawthorn West Coast? No, it's Carlton versus Geelong, Sunday, 3:20 at the MCG. I love the 3:20 slot at the MCG. You can just roll in there. Even if you're a bit hungover, you can just jump in there. The teams, please, lads. I think this is going to be an awesome match. Carlton obviously coming off 2 wins, but can they do it against a good team?
So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. They put the faith.
Thanks, mate.
They put the faith in the same team. They haven't named any forced changes at the moment.
Well, Harry Mackay is in the, sorry to spoil it, in the best 18 at the moment.
Well, there you go. So they will be making at least one change. Harry Mackay obviously comes back into the side after his concussion in gather round. Lachlan Cowan also comes in. And Sam Doherty, who was very
Anything for the
underwhelming.
doc?
It was a big drop off, wasn't it, from the doc?
What was that?
No, I mean, like,
This
do we have any sound effect for the doc?
No, just moo.
Moo. Okay, very
or
nice.
woof for Adam Sard.
Oh no, well, they put in the faith. This is going to be arguably, considering it's Anzac Day, one of the biggest games of the weekend.
Well, one of the biggest games of the year. Usually, this is a big crowd, but they're expecting 80,000.
Oh, I don't know if they'll
I don't
get
know
there.
about that, but maybe.
On a Sunday, that would be
And
huge.
Carlton they've got 2 wins in a row, 121 plus points the last 2 weeks. I know it was against North and West Coast, but at least
The
they got
big
their
three,
confidence.
mate. West Coast, North, Richmond. That's
Oh,
who they beat.
That's who they beat. Geelong team, Leo.
Geelong team, my man Mullen comes in. Mitch Duncan and Jai Clark and Oliver Wiltshire. Do we know?
Wiltshire, I'd say.
Wiltshire.
Yeah. That sounds like an English man.
He might be. He could be.
There's about 5 towns in England named after his surname. So
Wiltshire, yeah.
Yeah.
It actually is ceremonial county in England.
yep,
Of course. I could have told
Of
you
course
that.
it is.
They all join the extended bench. And obviously, Brian Myers comes out because he put his face into Connor Nash's arm.
Because he got a clothesline from hell from him. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit sus.
Bit skewiff.
Look, I think Geelong, spoiler alert, are a far superior team to Carlton.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And I've got a weird stat for you that we were talking about before. Geelong have actually won their last 12 matches in April. So for some reason they lift.
I don't
In
like,
April.
I don't
April
like
sort of
that
team.
stat. I mean,
I
I
like
like
it.
the stat.
It's funny.
If I was a Geelong fan, I'd hate that stat.
Why? Because they're gonna
Because
lose.
who
What,
cares if you win in
all your
April?
games.
Who cares if you win in April? Win in September.
Yeah, well, they win it September.
No, they notoriously do that.
Yeah.
What, one grand final in the last decade?
Hey,
When
That's-
they've had the
that's-
average age of 27.
That's the same. That's probably more.
Zane's
or the
going to give
same.
me crap for that.
Oh, there's a few Geelong supporters that might give
That
you
is
crap for
that is more than all of our clubs combined in the last decade. So,
Yep.
No, it isn't.
well, 2015.
It's in the decade.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
the
is
same
it?
amount as our 3 clubs in the last decade.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I carry you too.
Anyway, Geelong actually, another few stats is they're third in the offense in the league, which surprised me a bit because Stengler's been a bit out of form. Jeremy Cameron's been very up and down.
They lost Tom Hawkins, obviously.
They
as
lost
well.
Tom Hawkins.
You know who's been out of
Shannon
form?
Neal's not great yet.
It doesn't go with their offense, but Tom Stewart has been out of form.
Because he
needs to-
hasn't played.
He also missed a couple of games.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, where was he the other game?
He's
wasn't-
another laid out Tom Stewart.
But the reason their offense is clicking is one man. Danger.
Danger.
Danger,
I thought you were going to bring up. I
danger,
thought you were going to
danger.
bring up Brian Myers, and I was
No,
about
he's
to throw
been good,
fists.
but that's not the reason. And Olivia saying
Like
behind the
Connor
camera,
Nash.
Brad Close, who hasn't not done that. He's kicked 5 goals. Dangerfield has 14 goals. It's been the perfect fit. 14 goals in 6 matches. I've been absolutely loving his performance.
Yep.
Can we, before we just get into tips, can we predict who the laid out's going to be?
That's-
Geelong?
For Geelong?
I don't mind
I'm
that,
going to go
actually.
with Jack Bowes. I just have a feeling. that he's in the air, Jack
Tom
Bowes.
Stewart's still on there, so
Interesting.
I'm going
Nah,
to say
Stewart,
Tom
they
Stewart.
they know not to go him again. That's a bit sus.
Hmm.
I reckon Bowes.
Just to spite Spence behind the camera, I'm going to go Brad Close. Brad Close laid out.
I'm gonna go Tom Stewart just because he's always a laid out. Just the poor old man. Tips, margin, lads, please.
I think Geelong win this by 32, and I think it's a crushing blow to Carlton fans who come crashing back down to reality.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Geelong as well by 17 points. Look, I didn't expect Geelong to play as good as they have been. Like I know they don't necessarily have the personnel.
Yep.
Like obviously you got greats in that team, but compared to some other teams. But Geelong, they just always find a way. It's system. Chris Scott is obviously a very good coach.
Oh, superstar.
And I think he's just going to outclass Vossi.
Oh,
100%,
tactical masterclass. No, I agree with that one. I'm going to go Cats by 15. I think the Blues will live for the big occasion, the big crowd, but Geelong will get the job done as they have shown.
Yeah,
I haven't actually been that impressed other than the Adelaide game with Geelong. Like when I went down to the Cattery and watched them against Melbourne, they did not play well at all. They were just lucky that Melbourne were just bombing it and they were intercept marking. So I haven't been as impressed, but they will get over the line in this one.
Yeah, that's somewhat of a good team though. I always say they don't have to play well to get the job done.
Same as Brisbane to start the year. They've had very close wins.
Yes.
But they know how to win. So I'm going to go the Cats. Last one that Leo somehow was saying is the biggest game of the round. Even though it's his third favourite team now, I don't even know if he goes for the Hawks.
Fourth.
We've got fourth favourite. Hawthorn versus West Coast, Sunday, 4:45 at Marvel Stadium.
Marvel Stadium.
Marvel. Why would this be at Marvel Stadium?
Every MCG team has to play one home.
Yeah, I always forget that, to be fair. That's a bit of a weird one. Leo, Hawks team after your crushing defeat on Monday, but it was only by 7 points, so don't worry too much.
I'm worried, mate. Connor Nash is out, obviously, with a suspension.
Oh, I heard you were saying he was robbed and he should have been
That's what happens
playing.
when you whack a bloke in the head.
Yeah, they should have suspended Myers for getting
For flopping.
No, I'm joking. It's a joke. The four ins: Jack Ginnivan, Finn McGuinness, Henry Huswaite, and Bailey McDonald.
Henry Huswaite!
Get the pencil in the team.
What? Is he called the pencil because he's skinny?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
They should have dropped Jarman Impey for diving.
You sure?
There's a bit of dive about that with Bailey Smith. It wasn't.
There was.
Yeah, there was, but
for
who
that.
cares?
Bailey Smith shouldn't have put a footy into his face. But.
Yeah, true.
I think Luke Bruce is vulnerable. I think Jaff is vulnerable in this team. Just looking at the extended bench.
On and off the field.
I think Huswaite has to... What are you talking
Don't
about?
worry.
We're talking about football.
I was talking about...
This is serious but fun chat. Henry Huswaite has to come into this side. He doesn't have this. He's not quick, but he's probably the most like for Connor Nash. And we need help in that midfield. We need to win the contested ball more, and we need to not kick like we don't know. Like we haven't seen our teammates before. Hit a bloody target, Hawthorn.
That is a good call.
And Sicily, play forward for the love of God. Play forward.
Very uncharacteristic. There were a lot of players in that Easter Monday game that were turning the ball over. It was very uncharacteristic.
Like they never met before.
And they were just launching forward, which played right in the hands of Geelong. It just felt like they read everything off the boot. So I do think they need a little change up.
Not wrong.
In the lineup.
Not wrong. West Coast team, please, Marcus. A few different changes.
Yeah, well, from the team that narrowly lost to the Bombers, they've got Harry Edwards omitted and Tim Kelly injured. Obviously won't play for the Eagles for the second time in 3 weeks. They've named quite a few ins. Tom Cole, the villain, Oscar Allen, comes back into the
He's
side.
auditioning for the Hawks.
Tyler Brockman, former Hawk as well.
Oh, I love Tyler Brockman.
How do you love
think-
Tyler Brockman? He was so crap.
No,
the last
I
2
think-
years
oh,
old.
no, I think he's
at
very
Hawthorn,
underrated.
he was
He
very
was good.
good. At West Coast, hasn't been the best, but at Hawthorn,
He got. Do you remember he was in and out of the side? In his
When
last year at
when Hawthorn were bad,
At Hawthorn,
I swear he
he
was.
was. His injury.
when Hawthorn were bad,
true.
he was the one kicking 2 goals every week.
True.
And he was just he was a little bit of a sparkle. My dad loved him. I loved watching him. I wish he stayed.
Anyways, the final 2 changes for West Coast: Noah Long and Sandy Brock.
What a name.
Yep, sounds like a Fox cricket commentator, but there we
Does
go.
it?
Do you mean the AFL commentator, Sandy Cheeks from Smash?
Sandy Cheeks.
Roberts.
Sandy Roberts. That's
Sandy
it. He's a
Roberts.
legend. I think that's one of Alex's favorite commentators.
Yep.
Yeah, so the teams there, we've got, let me get the stats up. Sorry, lads, I haven't got any stats for this one, but
That's all right. I can just
we
vibe
can just
it.
vibe it. The
Vibe it.
Hawks, I think they need to win this one comfortably just to give their fans a bit of confidence. That's what I meant to write down. Do you agree with me on that as a Hawks fan? Liam?
I'm just nervous because we've lost the last 2. Like we should win. If we
And you could see yourself outside the 8.
yeah, 100%. Like we got to win, and our percentage isn't great, so I'd like to smash them. I'd like to win by 100.
Yep.
Can we do it? Please, Hawthorn.
Yeah, surely you can. Surely you can.
We could, but I don't think we will.
And then what do West Coast need to see? Because obviously they played well last week. Can they get? I think Essendon
They
is.
did.
a lot easier opponent than Hawks.
Yep.
But they played really well.
They did. They played well. I think, I'm not sure if that's just like Optus Stadium sort of factor. Jake
Yeah,
Waterman
true,
did very
true.
good, kicked 4 in the first quarter. But they did kick very straight. They were dominated in the middle and in the inside 50 count.
Yep.
But against this Hawthorn team, that's one thing. That middle area of the ground is perhaps where Hawthorn are a little bit vulnerable without Will Day.
Yep.
And Tim Kelly's obviously a big out. But if they can get on top in the middle, especially at Marvel Stadium, small ground, and pen it in their inside 50, then they've got a genuine chance.
Yeah.
Of at least kicking a winnable score.
And they've got a very tall forward line. So obviously Allen and Waterman there. Archer Reed is a tall and Jack Williams is a tall. So it's a very tall forward line.
But they're going to be.
I'm
they're gonna get
surprised
smashed.
to see Archer Reed actually probably in this team.
Really? I love him.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh, he's been
but
good. He's been good.
I feel like he has
He's pretty
been
athletic.
He's better than Zach.
Oh, Zach,
No,
Zach,
don't
Zach
get
kept
rattled.
him to 0 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
got 71 Supercoach points though. So break even.
Break in. Very
Break
nice.
even.
All right. Tips and margin, lads. Surely we're all going the Hawkers.
Yeah.
Leo,
Yes.
Hawk by 34.
34. Yep.
Hawk by 51.
I
50.
wish.
Well, I'm going to go in between. I'm going to go 40 points. I think it'll be comfortable, but it won't be an absolute
It should
smashing.
be. It should be. And they like Leo mentioned, they need a percentage booster because come the end of the year, that top 4 looks like it could go down a percentage. So these are games like these that they need to make the most
That
of.
is a fantastic point.
There we go. There's a lot of love on this couch. I love it.
That
All
is,
right.
mate.
Let's finish off with my favorite part of the show,
I
the
love this
big
part of the show.
calls, the massive calls. There's actually some humongous calls on today's show. We might have to change the segment. We'll start off with Leo because the man next to Leo, Mark Colzar, is very excited.
Can I paint a picture?
Oh, paint a
Can we
picture.
paint a
Paint a
picture?
picture.
Paint me like one of your French girls. there. Let's do it.
Yes. He loves a French
What
girl.
the hell was that?
Just do what he
I'll
says.
just do it.
Paint me.
Nick Dacos. Okay,
Yes.
I'm starting off a little small.
Okay, it's a nightmare already.
He wins the Anzac Day medal.
Okay. Which is, most people could predict that, but yes.
But how is he gonna win it, and how is he gonna get to the stage?
Okay.
Gonna be through his bodyguard, Ned Long. Move, get out of the way!
Okay.
Get out of the way. We've got a Dacos coming through. Ned Long himself will have 25 disposals and 8 tackles.
Whoa.
Dacos will win the medal.
Because of
And
Ned
the only
Long's-
thing is-
because of Ned Long getting in and under, feeding him the ball. Dacos will zip around like the road runner he is, and Collingwood fans will be like, I love Ned Long and I love Nick Dacos even more. My
Yeah.
captain. Oh, captain. My
It is-
captain.
That is the best picture you've painted. I love that.
Give it,
It
out
is.
of 10.
At 11.
Perfect
No,
score.
3.
Oh yeah, because
yeah,
you go
yeah.
for Bombers, but it's a good picture.
Because it does make sense though, because it's likely going to be very wet on Anzac Day
Oh,
throughout
Ned
the
Long
game.
in the wet.
So Ned Long and Nick
And then he plays
Dacos,
footy.
very good ball users.
That's a good one.
Off the deck, it's made for them. So
I wish we had him at Hawthorn.
gives me nightmares.
All right, that's his big. I really like that. Now, you've been teasing this for the entire show.
I know you said Nick Dacos is a big call to win the Anzac
No,
Day
but he
medal.
said
But I
he
also
said
said-
Ned Long's also going to get 25 plus disposals and 8 tackles. That's pretty big.
So that's 3 things for my big call.
But this has nothing on this big
Okay,
call.
try
Huge big call.
veteran
Legend. Best ruckman of all time.
balding Todd Goldstein is going to win the Anzac Day medal.
You forgot Essendon
The
fans.
story is an Essendon fan. The story is written. It's written in the stars.
First
Have
game
you
for a
seen-
year.
Essendon lose both ruckmen in the first 6 rounds of the
Are
season.
they actually injured? Maybe this is the plan all along.
Todd Goldstein
Oh.
injured him at training.
He's going to come in and he's going to lock down Darcy Cameron and he's going to do a
down
job.
a ruckman.
You can do it, mate. He's just going to push him
Also,
over.
if he locks him down, he's not winning the medal.
He's going to purposely trip him, ruin him for the rest of the game, and he's going to have a day.
How many hit outs?
Oh. Which hit out does he
What's
lose?
a hit out?
Which hit out does he lose?
So he's going
Don't say
to
losing it out.
120
How many
hits.
disposals and how many goals?
73 disposals, 7 goals.
Oh, give me an actual stat line. I love that though, because I love
Okay,
goals.
Todd Goldstein will go 14 disposals, 3 goals,
Oh,
bath in the rough.
3 goals.
But he might not kick a goal if it stays dry.
It's not like...
he's going to be. He's
I
going
know, because Todd Goldstein is going to be putting a man in the match performance, and I'm going to be making the ground wet. It's going to be beautiful.
Don't know about that one. Oh my God. That is one of the biggest calls you will ever see on an AFL show, just in general. My
It's
one.
also the worst call.
I'm gonna get us back. I should have done my big call before him because now mine's not that big. Aaron Cadman will kick 4+ goals against the Dogs. His career high is 3 goals.
Is it only 3?
Yes, so he's done that 4 times in his career, 3 goals. He kicked 3 goals last week against Adelaide in the wet, which was a bit surprising for a big guy. Yeah,
You're right. He kicked
Yeah.
3 of their
In the
4.
wind.
He kicked
as
3.
well?
He kicked 3 goals, I believe. Maybe double check that.
Oh, I want to, but it sounds right. But 3 of their
He had
4.
2 goals against the Dogs last time he played against them, and I don't think they have that tall depth. Obviously, they don't have.
What are you on about, mate? He did not kick a goal last
He did
week.
not kick
Did
on
he
the
kick, did he
goal
kick
as
3 the
well.
week before? The
He
week
kicked
before.
3 points. Maybe you read the stat
So
wrong.
he's look how
So the
sad he
stats
is.
guy.
But he will kick 4 this week. Don't you worry about that.
No, I like it because Lob will go to Hogan and he might get the
Yeah.
Buslinger matchup.
Hogan back in the team
Sell it
helps.
to us. Sell it.
Hogan back into the team helps out Cadman a lot because then
Yeah.
he's not on the main defender. He might get Bustling in his first game. He's going to take a bit. He's such a good contested mark. And actually, yeah, he kicked 3 goals the week before against the Saints. Now that I remember that in
Going to be a
gather.
bit of irony because he's going to be taking the bus for a ride.
Oh my
Ooh.
God, Leo, that's the.
I like it.
was a
He
bit-
didn't
I
like it.
that.
He liked
No,
it.
I liked it. I
Oh.
liked it. It was
I
a bit of
liked
chest
it.
behind it.
I don't
Well
think
done.
he liked it until you said he liked it.
What can I say?
Marcus?
Nah.
I'm a trendsetter.
Oh, don't worry. Let's end it there. That'll do us for the AFL Today Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe to AFL Today on YouTube. Follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more footy content all season long. Subscribe, like all of our shows on your podcast apps as well. That's Cricket Today Show, AFL Today, AFLW Today Show, actually. Hold All Tickets, True Bloods, Honest Beers. We're doing a lot in this studio. So much fun content. Thank you so much to Olivia behind the camera, stepping up. The Carlton supporter, she'll be cheering them on Sunday. Thank you very much to Leo, who's not listening as always at the end of the show.
No, I was just putting him in my lower third.
Thank you. And thank you very much, Marcos.
No worries. I just want to say 2 things.
Oh, no.
Todd Goldstein for All Australian. And number 2, Aaron Cadman kicked 2 goals, 1 against St Kilda in Gatherang.
We'll see you Sunday for all things round 7. We'll catch you then on AFL Today.